I got one you guys will love. All right.
Oh yeah.
This is an army one, and like I said, I suffer from evil genius syndrome. I can't help it. It just is what it is. Now, I enlisted in the military at 17, went to basic AIT, turned 18. Shortly after, I got stationed at Fort Lewis, Washington, mainly because I wanted to become an airborne ranger, but that's a whole other story. So I get on the ground. I in process, maybe there a month, and me and this guy named Mark get voluntold because we're going to be lifeguards. So we have to go to lifeguard school, which they had on Fort Lewis. And the pool is like 2 blocks away from the headquarters where they put up the flag, play the reveille, and shoot off the cannon. And we're literally watching it happen. We see the 4 guys come out, walk down there, smoking and joking. They put up the flag. The guy gets ready to hit the button for the big speakers that play reveille. Guy opens the cannon, doesn't even clear it, puts in the charge. Boom, everything goes down. And that's when I got the idea. I'm like, wow, I got to even clear the barrel. I'm like, well, maybe we can fuck with this guy. So
Here it comes.
The next day, I had this modified beer can that we had cut a bunch of slices in it, and you compact it, and the can will get wider. And we got to the reveille cannon, and we opened up the breech and put the beer can in there and squished it so anything we put in the barrel wouldn't fall into the breech, because the minute they open it, they'll see it. And then we filled it with, I think, somewhere north of 36 golf balls. Could have been more. I don't remember the exact number. All right. So we get in his car. We go back down 2 blocks. We're watching the pandemonium as it's going to unfold. They come walking out just like the day before. Nobody checked shit. They go down there. They put the charge in there. They push the button. The flag goes up. Boom. And then you started hearing like windows breaking, couple car alarms going off. Like 36 or more golf balls literally came out of that barrel and went anywhere from 800 to 1,600 meters into officer on post housing. Now,
Whoa.
Nobody got hurt. There was just minor damage, and it caused a huge uproar. And I think it was even mentioned in the paper, that the rag that they print up that all the soldiers read. So
Right.
me and my buddy Mark were like, okay, we're not going to do that again because we're going to get caught. And they were really fucking mad, like really mad. So he and I, we go to Egypt. We do our thing. We come back, and we had like a half day. I don't remember what exactly was going on. I think it was payday activities. So, we had made these plans that, after the half day, we're going to go scuba diving. So he comes in early, drops off his gear to my room. And I'm like, if we hurry, we can get down and sabotage the cannon again. And he's like, yeah, let's do that.
Brilliant.
We didn't put golf balls in it this time. We stuffed it with magazines and newspapers. And just like they did 7 months prior, nobody learned anything. The guy comes out, puts the charge in, flag goes up, guy pushes the button, and boom! And all you saw was this huge cloud of confetti come out the end of the barrel. And like you can see the NCOIC, he's like,
what the hell do we do now? Yeah.
And they were literally there picking up that confetti for like half a day. It was so much.
Oh, man.
It was hilarious.
Good time.
But yeah, man, that's the kind of shit you do in the Army. And unfortunately, in today's Army, that's not going to fly because they'll bust your balls for that. But back when I was in, I mean, practical jokes were a common thing. And most of the time, if it was going on, the platoon sergeant really wouldn't get involved. He would be like, so what happened? Did you get him? Was it good? All right. Because that's where the culture works. Am I wrong?
Oh, yeah.
No, don't get caught or else I'm going to have to smoke your ass.
That's right.
I don't know, man. I mean, I thought that was a pretty good one. You know, like we've done the shave off the eyebrow. We've detonated grenade simulators in people's rooms. That I'm explaining. They got a health and welfare out of that one. Let's see. During a health and welfare, I cut out outlines of pistols out of cardboard, and I put them in the fluorescent lights. You know,
no.
So they come and do the health where they turn the lights on, they search the room, and they, wah! And they find out it was just a cardboard silhouette, and everyone in that room gets smoked. It's pretty funny.
That's good shit.
I have to say, none of my prank stories are as good as that. I don't even think they could top those.
Because I'm an evil genius, man.
Yeah.
I've been doing pranks since I was like 13.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never really done pranks because I know once you start, it just keeps on going back and forth. I'm like, nah, I think I'll stay out of that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. And that's the thing you have to do if you want to prank. If you're a practical joker, you have to have a good sense of humor. And then when they get you back, you can't get really mad about it.
Right.
And all my soldiers, they always knew I was a good sport about that shit. Because I understand the code. No, I got another one here. And all right, so me and my buddy Richard Doran, I moved into Berkeley at the end of 7th grade, and I made friends with him, that winter. And after that, he was like my little baby brother, and we hung out everywhere. And I got this idea that I was going to launch a firework into the Huntington Woods Police Department front door. So, I used to order fireworks out of the back of those comic books, and I ordered basically 8 1/3 sticks of dynamite. The M3000 is what they called it.
Yeah.
And it was about that long and just over an inch in diameter. And I mean, it had a lot of girth to it. And of course, you have to rehearse. So I'm literally trying to shoot the firework with a slingshot. And because of its shape, it would, spin and wouldn't go straight.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided that for it to fly straight, I was going to have to wrap it in modeling clay. So I had Richard, he would hold up this hula hoop and he wearing a football helmet. And I made this huge ball of modeling clay. And I would try to launch it through the hula hoop. And for the first 8 or 9 times, it took some adjusting. I hit him like 5 times, like in the chest, the shoulder. Unfortunately, in the balls, that might have been intentional. I don't know.
Right.
But it is what it is. So finally, we get it down where, he can hold it up, and from a good 35 yards, I could lob, the ball of modeling clay through the hula hoop. So I knew I could make the front door from the row of bushes that used to be across the street. So we decide it's like 3:30 in the afternoon. It's summer. And I'm like, okay, let's go do it. And I already had everything prepared. So he comes with me, and literally we're on the other side of the bushes, and I'm popping up, and I'm, checking the police station, and I put the ball in the wrist rocket, and I pull it back, and this thing is like next to my face, and it's 1/3 of a stick of dynamite. It would have killed me if it would have went off. So I'm literally holding it. I'm like, light me. So he lights it. Shh. And I lob it. And it was 1 in a million. Because the front door, there's like you have to turn at a 90-degree angle to make it into the office. But for whatever reason, the door was pushed in at just a weird angle. It's like Murphy showed up and was like, yeah, we'll make this happen. This will work out.
Very
And I
good.
fire it, and it hits there. Boom. It bounces into the police station. Now, I had a feeling this was going to happen. A bunch of those guys were Vietnam vets. So literally, I hear like, grenade! And like people are diving over desks. And it detonates. It's like, and all you see is papers. The windows like, ugh. And I'm like, ah! We take off running. And I didn't think it through, but apparently, they had put it out over the radio band that the police use, that somebody had thrown a hand grenade into the police department, and cops were literally. There was a traffic jam of police cars from virtually every city within 60 miles was parked out front, and they were mad as fucking hell. Holy shit, were they mad? But they never caught. They suspected it was me because of my past at the neighboring city, Oak Park, but they couldn't prove it.
Nice. Oh, that's good.
That's evil genius shit.
Highly illegal. Don't try that at home, but that is awesome.
I know. I'd have went to juvie for 4 years if they had caught me today doing that. Yeah. Oof. But I mean, I'll never forget that instant image when I just took that snapshot with my thinking meat and saw that guy like literally diving over. His legs are in there, and then that huge flash. Boo! All right, here's another one I used to do. Now, I've said this on the show many times. I am not a nice person. And I was way worse before the head injury. And this was basically between the ages of 22 and 26. I'd be driving around doing my thing, and the traffic up here around Detroit is terrible. And on at least half a dozen occasions, I'm waiting in traffic, and it turns out it's a fucked up accident. And I'm driving by, and I roll the window down, and on several occasions they're literally wheeling a guy into the ambulance, and I'm like, I hope you die. And I'm driving by, these cops are like what am I gonna do? Right. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to wait an hour in traffic. I hope you fucking die. That's not good, man. It's not good. But I mean, that's the kind of guy I was when I was younger. I was a fucking raging asshole. I had anger control problems, the whole deal. So this one takes place in like 2004. I'm in Iraq, and I'm as an E8. I think this was before I got promoted to first sergeant, so I was just a master sergeant. As an E8 in the active army with the Tower of Power, meaning you have all the tabs, you are very hard to fuck with. I mean, it literally takes colonels, lieutenant colonels, and above, and maybe the sergeant major of the army. Other sergeant majors, they can yell at you, but for the most part, it's not a big deal at all. And I was bored, like I always do. I'm bored. I'm like, I'm bored. I think I'm gonna fuck with somebody. So, a couple of days later, I went out into sector with the Marine QRF, and we went through the bazaar, and I bought this, like, I think it was like $50-$60 remote control like toy truck. It had a range of about 100 meters or so. It wasn't very expensive. And because I had found, against the wall, they had basically bulldozed the top off of a mass grave. And there was this lady's fucked up wig that was out in the sunlight. I'm like, that looks incredibly terrifying. So I put the wig on top of the truck, and I hid the truck in a cardboard box with one side open. And I literally, when people would walk by, I would like roll the truck at them and watch them just come unglued. Now, the one person I didn't expect to get with this, and I filmed it, was one of our sergeant majors. I think he was the sergeant major of the 504th MI battalion or brigade. And he's walking down the hallway, I mean, it was perfect. The camera was just at the right angle. He's walking down the hallway. All of a sudden, it rolls out, and he did like just Sergeant Major jumps in there. It's like, what? Ah! Ah! It like sounded like a chick. I couldn't believe it. I was laughing my ass off. Now, he yelled at me, a lot, but I couldn't stop laughing. He was like jumping like a bitch. All right. So what I did next that really turned the knife is I played that same video on all of the monitors in the chow hall on a loop for like 30 minutes. So everyone's in there like, ah! I would have let it go all day, but the Sergeant Major showed up and he outranked me and he's like, take that shit down. And again, I got yelled at again. I was like, we're getting ordered 5 times a day, Sergeant Major. You gotta have some fun or people are gonna go crazy. Well, not at my expense. I'm like, well, Sergeant Major, you're really not above anyone else. You're just enlisted. You've just been doing it longer. So you're on the menu. Got so fucking mad. I got yelled at by everybody.
Oh, shit.
I love doing that shit.
Hell yeah.
Let's see. Looks like Sean St. George has his own $9.99. Says, when I was a private in the barracks, someone thought it was funny. I thought it was a funny prank to smear fecal matter on our barracks door. We weren't laughing while cleaning it up.
Nope.
But someone else did. That's just wrong. That's
that happened, but usually that is done by rival platoons or rival companies do stuff like that to each other. Yeah. And back in the old Army, it was very common for one platoon to fight another platoon over some stupid bullshit. Like literally, we had the E4 Mafia and the 9th ID was having a problem with the E4 Mafia from 1st Platoon over a comic book or several comic books. And quite literally, it turned into like an 8-on-8 melee in the parking lot on a Saturday night. Everyone is drunk. But, they broke it up. The CQ took some names. I mean, they didn't get in a lot of trouble. They just did road marches.
Right.
Because back then, the platoon sergeant we had, he was a Vietnam vet, and he'd always be like, he would not allow anyone to severely punish his troops for fighting because that is what infantry is supposed to do.
Fair enough.
Yep.
So he like, fuck that. I mean, it's like taking the teeth out of your guard dog. You want to have dudes that are willing to fight at the drop of a hat.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He's totally right. Yeah, I got some. I used to have this feud going with the sergeant of the juvenile police force. He went by Sergeant Penn. He's dead now. He died of pancreatic cancer. And he's one of the main reasons that I came into the Army because he had been collecting a dossier on me for all of the shit I've been doing, even a lot of stuff I didn't do that I was suspected of. And typically, if it was really dangerous or could get somebody really hurt, it wasn't me. All the stuff I did was annoying. There was some destruction, but for the most part, it was just pain in the ass prank kind of stuff. And this guy, he literally lived on my block about 100 meters, 120 meters away, 200 max. And he lived in this little condo, and his 2 daughters would come hang out with him. He was divorced. It was a weird thing. But what I would do is I would get my hands on 1 or 2 grosses of bottle rockets, and I would take all of the paper off and get them all individually ready to go. And I would get one of those old metal pudding tin cans.
Mm-hmm.
And I would put cotton at the bottom. I poke a hole and I, put some lighter fluid in there, and I get a good 4 or 5 feet of that cannon fuse.
Mm.
And I would put it in there, and then I would put 1 or 2 grosses of bottle rockets in this can. And I would light it, and it would take about 5 minutes. By the time it went off, I'm already home.
Right.
And I would do it like just as the sun was coming up in the summer. on a Sunday, and you'd hear the and it would go on for like 5 minutes, and he would just be fucking, God damn it, all day. He'd be out there picking up all the sticks and garbage from all of the bottle rockets because he was one of those lawn guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then there was another one. The same guy. He used to drive this pickup truck that had like the side pipes, and it was all stupid. It had flames on it. And in my city where I lived, you couldn't park on the street after 2 a.m. or you get a ticket. You can go get a special dispensation from the police department. But this dude like parked on the street all the time. Never got in trouble for it because he's a cop. Well, me and my buddy Rich go down there and we tie, it's like 50, 60 meters of that nylon cord to his back axle. And we attach the other 2 pieces to his 2 garbage cans that he had left out in the front of his house. And we're watching it from my house from the upstairs. He comes out. It's like 7:30 in the morning. Doesn't notice anything. Gets into his truck and takes off. And literally those two tin cans come off the curb, slam together. Garbage goes everywhere. Going down the block. He's screaming, fucking motherfucker, God. He had to pick up all that trash. I love fucking with that guy. It was great.
Watch Grunt Speak live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to join Popp for Supporter Sundays, go to redonkulous.com/donate and make a monthly pledge. A link is in the Meat Gazer box.